welcome back for episode 6 of Vol Club Confidential. I'm your host, Austin Price. We got a great show tonight. Javontez Spraggins, the Zookeeper, as he is eloquently known by his teammates, will join us here in just a little bit. But first, before we get going, Tennessee 10-2 and in the Orange Bowl. First time since 1997, the 1998 Orange Bowl, that the Vols will head to Miami to take on the Clemson Tigers, the ACC champs, after their win over North Carolina this past weekend. What a huge time on Rocky Top. And, you know, Tennessee fans will no doubt be headed to South Beach there in late December. The game, December 30th, 8 o'clock. And to kick this show off, we're going to bring in Spire Sports' James Clausen. James, exciting time. You all are going to be at the bowl game. You're currently working on plans for tailgates and events for those Vol Club members.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure all that out, but I think we're going to have at least a tailgate. We'll probably have a couple other events throughout the week. We'll be there, 3 or 4 days before the event, so for the game. So we're really excited. Before
you head to South Beach, though, big event coming up on signing day night, the 21st, at the press room. We'll have signees. We'll have coaches, Tennessee coaches, to kind of break down the Tennessee recruiting class, which is headlined by Nico Iamaleava, Jordan Matthews, some really big time players in that 2023 class. Take me through the event and how can people attend the event?
Yeah, so tickets are available for anybody to purchase right now on our website, volclub.com. It's at the press room here in Knoxville. Coach Apple will be there. So break down the class, give some insight into the class, probably tell some good stories. Maybe you can get some good stuff out of him. But it's going to be a good event, a fun event. I think fans can interact and meet some of the new players, which will be exciting. And we're excited to bring the event back.
Yeah, double-digit players, early enrollees, will take part in bowl practice. They'll arrive on the 15th. They'll go through bowl practice, and for the first time ever, they'll actually go to the site and go through bowl practice down in Miami. They will not be able to dress out for the game, though, but they will be on the sideline in sweats for the Orange Bowl game against Clemson. Lastly, when you look at kind of target goals for 2023, how important is it to get local businesses involved?
Yeah, so one of our big focuses for 23 is to get more local businesses, more brands involved in doing deals with players. So, I think there were a lot of brands, throughout the fall that had a lot of success based on the football team's success, right? Hotels, restaurants, massive sale increases from previous football seasons. So we want to try to get more of those type businesses involved. And, we'd love to have that conversation with anybody listening that has a business, owns a business, works for someone that you think could benefit from having an athlete, kind of be part of it.
Let's make sure he has those conversations. And now let's continue our conversation with Javontez Spraggins. Javontez, welcome into Vol Club Confidential. What's this ride been like this year? You go back to, the hard work you put in last off season, right up through the summer months, and then to be 10-2 going to the Orange Bowl. What's it mean?
It means a lot because me and the guys during the off season, we put our pride in our work, and we just wanted to come out this season and execute and really show ourselves and show the fan base that we got what it takes to be a top team in the SEC.
Best part about this offensive line this year, you've had 4 all SEC weeks as far as different linemen, win all SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. Just continuity, unity. You guys battled some injuries a year ago. This year you were healthy.
Yeah, just all of that. We set a goal for ourselves early in the year that we wanted to be finalists and win the Joe Moore Award, which is like a prestigious offensive line award for like the best line in the country. And we set our goals, and we just wanted to attack those every week.
This team specifically has done things that no Tennessee team's done in 20 years, like win 10 games in regular season. You record points against Missouri earlier in the year for an SEC opponent, little things like that, yards in the game. Does Coach Heupel talk to you about some of these accomplishments you guys have had?
We try to keep it like every next game. Like we just try to focus on the next game every week, and sometimes we you can see it all on the internet. Like we've done this, we've done that. but we try to stay we just try to stay ahead in our game, just every week, going week by week.
How much do you pay attention? I know it's easy to say I'm blocking out Twitter, but I mean,
it's hard.
Everybody looks at it, right?
It's hard to not pay attention to it because as soon as you get on your phone, like after a game or that Monday, you see it, and isn't like it's not known. Like, hey, you do something good, and they just tell you about it. Best meme, GIF, whatever that you've seen on Twitter about this season's what? I think Tennessee made a highlight video, and it was like some of the games that we played so far. It was funny. It had a lot of memes in it and stuff, but I don't have any like single one personally that I could point out. All right, so Javontez is from St. Louis, Missouri. East St. Louis. Yeah, okay. There you go. East St. Louis. Big difference.
Differentiate. Kind of take me through growing up in East St. Louis and to get to this point where you're at Tennessee. What's that mean for you? It means a lot for me, but it especially means a lot to my family because where I come from, my last name means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the people around me. So I try to come here and just present myself in a way that shows that this guy is coming from where he's coming from. He's going to do whatever he can do to try to better himself every day. Best part about growing up in East St. Louis? Hardest part about growing up in East St. Louis? Best part, just being with my family. Like I said, my dad got a lot of siblings, a lot of brothers and sisters. Like I think he got 8 on each side, like brothers and sisters, 8 sisters. So you got a lot of aunts and uncles. Yeah, I got a lot of cousins, a lot of family. So just being able to grow up around them and not being separated and having to of course you want to get away from a bad place, but sometimes you can't. So as long as you got your family and stuff like that, it kind of gets you through it faster. So when we talked when you were out for the locker room one night, you kind of went there a little bit, just some of the hard things you saw growing up. How much how did that shape and mold you? Basically, it's an everyday thing. Like I try to go in every day with a mindset of whatever I do, I'm gonna try to attack and be my best at it. Man, like I say, even going to class, I'm trying to answer the question. I'm trying to answer the most questions. I'm trying to do this, that. It just means a lot to while I'm here, I want to be able to fulfill everything I want to do. You a talker on the field? It depends. Not when I'm knocking heads around, but when I'm knocking heads around and I'm having fun while doing it. So sometimes you might get a chat out of me. Do you do most of your talking on the sideline? Yeah. In between series? After we score something, I get the defense hype or something like that, or I'm let special teams know, let's go. Where does the energy come from? My personal energy? Yeah. I try to bring it. Even if some days I'm not feeling it, I always try to bring it. It's somewhere inside me. I just don't know. I guess it's, like you say, you bring certain stuff with you, and I guess I just bring a little bit of energy with me. Third year here, you're 3-0 against Missouri. It's your home state team. I mean, yeah. This year y'all scored a record 66 points for SEC opponents. You had 75 snaps. You didn't allow a sack. Is that game more meaningful to you or no? It is more meaningful because I had a few guys that actually played at Mizzou, so it was great to get to see my family, and I consider them guys my family because they came from the same school as me, and they were able to get to those schools and accomplish things for themselves too. So a couple of my guys are there, Tyler Macon, Dominic Levitt, and Luther Burden. So I was able to really see those guys. Those guys actually performed well versus us. I won't even hold them down on that. And they got like I said, I got a chance to see them after the game, see how they were doing, and just let them know, man, y'all doing a good job, and just keep doing what y'all doing. Florida game, you won SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week for. When you get that recognition, how big is that to kind of know that some of the hard work you've put in is paying off? It means a lot. It's definitely a big award, and not a lot of people get the opportunity to say, hey, I got to be offensive lineman this week, especially versus a big SEC opponent like that. And I was just blessed that I got to accomplish one of those, a goal, which was a goal for me as a football player at the university. So I'm just glad I got an opportunity to be presented in that way. So when you look at your story coming out of high school, you got an offer, and this has been talked about. You got an offer as a snapper at a 7-on-7 event here at Tennessee. You didn't even come to really camp here all of a sudden you're just snapping the ball, and previous O-line coach sees you, they pull the trigger. You go to Alabama after that. Alabama offers you the same way. Kind of take me through, what that couple of weeks was like, in your recruitment.
It was just a spiral of events, man. I went there and showed them coaches I worked my butt off, and I just went there and showed them guys that, hey, I came out of nowhere too. They really didn't expect me, and I just did a little workout for them. And before I knew it, they offered me a scholarship, and man, it was crazy. It was just a series of events. It was like boom, boom, boom. So, man, I just didn't know what to think. So,
and when you committed here, you didn't know a ton about Tennessee.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about Tennessee, but from what my coaches told me, actually.
When that kind of stuff happens, do you start trying to do research on the internet and kind of figure out, this place and things that it offers and that type of stuff?
Nah, I think about how I'm going to put my head down and work. That's what I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking who's this, that, and the third. How am I going to? I was thinking once you step foot on that campus, you're on your own, and you're going to have to figure your way out. You're going to have to work the hardest. You're going to have to do the most, and you're going to have to just let it, make yourself as best as you could be, just so you can get out of there with or without a degree, and being able to sustain yourself and be successful in life. So I just went in there, put my head down, and I'm just trying to go day by day to be better.
All right, so most of his teammates would know him as Spraggs, but you've kind of got this new nickname, the Zookeeper. Did you give yourself who gave you that?
I think it was in a press conference in the spring or something, or close to the fall, and they was just you keep getting these stuffed animals, what are you gonna call yourself? And I just said
you just had fun with it.
Yeah. So it came from that, and it just been stuck ever since. So the fans they reached out to me towards the beginning of the season. I was like, hey, we're gonna have a stuffed animal, and we just happen to be in a close section to you, so will we be able to give it to you? So I was like, sure, no problem. I have no problem.
So every time you chalk off a win, you get a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
You've got one. Your mom's got most of them, but you have this one, which is the Alabama one, the big elephant. If you can win the Orange Bowl, you'd have a chance to get your third different tiger. Because you've already beat LSU and Missouri.
Right.
How much fun do you have with this?
Man, it's a joy to me because I just know the fans are actually watching these interviews, and they're understanding players are having fun with this, and being able to finally do more than just play football. Basically I get a fan base opportunity to experience these guys hey, these are not just football players, they're guys with good hearts and good attitudes.
And LSU, the game was well in hand, so you're over there having fun the last couple of minutes, and all of a sudden you got the tiger, and you're walking around there and holding it up for the crowd. How much do you get it's almost like I would call it a WWE moment, how you're playing to the crowd. How much do you kind of enjoy that?
Man, I enjoy it. Like I said, I've been here for 3 years, man. You're not gonna be here too much longer than that, and I just want to make all my time here well spent. I just don't want to waste it.
What stuffed animal do you not have that you want?
We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Let your imagination wander.
Yeah.
When did you start playing football?
I actually didn't start playing as early as many kids, man. I think I started around that middle school time, 13, 14, just not before going to high school. So, I went out there. I didn't think I was going to a football field. I thought I was going to get ice cream or something. And, yeah, man, I put up to a football field in Centerville, Illinois. I went to play football for the Centerville Tigers. It was my first time playing football.
So you didn't know you were going to play football? You thought you were going to get ice cream? Who took you to this? Your parents?
My dad in this red pickup truck. I remember it vividly. we got in the truck, and it's hot too. It's a hot weekday after school. I get picked up. We drive, and I'm thinking, all right, this ain't the way to wear the ice cream, man. So where we going? He don't say nothing. We pulled into the football field, man. Before I knew it, I was playing Little League football. And that's actually where I met, one of my mentors for real. He my old Little League coach. His name is Coach Centurion Winters. This guy basically took me, and I didn't know nothing about football, nothing at all. I was just a raw kid, and he just molded me into, what people would say a dog. Like, he gave me the opportunity to, like, just play football. Like,
When did you realize you were good?
Never. Every day I'm striving to be better. You're never the best. You just always going to get better.
So when you started to get recruited, how surreal was that? Because all of a sudden, you go from just playing for fun to all of a sudden like, oh, wait, I could get free college out of this.
It was just a thought at first, but, like, it got serious when I got to high school. I knew, like, man, I really don't want to stay here after football is over. So
it was your way out.
Yeah, I knew I didn't want to stay here after football was over. So I was like, man, let me figure something out. And I took football. Like, a lot of people told me, like, man, you're not finna make it out, bro. You finna go to another high school in East St. Louis, and then Eastside probably gonna beat you, and then y'all not gonna be good or none in the future. Like, a lot of people say stuff like that, and you just think, like, all that stuff go to the back of your head, like, bro, I'm not about to be what they saying I'm finna be, so I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it out of where I'm at right now. So took that, and, like, man, high school football, it was just my route, like, like, I was free out there. Like, I got the ability to do whatever I want. Like, I can bust heads, I can run downfield with the running back and do everything.
High school football is kind of its purest form. And, before you get to college, it's just kind of you and your buddies that you played with growing up. How much did you enjoy high school football?
Man, high school football definitely was a joy to me because a lot of the guys that I knew back then from those, like in high school, man, I had a good high school, like, especially football-wise. Like, we went 2 seasons undefeated with state championships, 14-0. So those guys from those teams, like, I definitely remember those guys, and, like, they hold a special place to me. And, like, it just means a lot. Like, football carries you a long way in life, especially with the relationships you gain.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I don't know. I'm actually really nice. Like, people, I don't know if people would think I'm mean or something, but, like, I'm actually really nice. I'm, like, a nice guy. I'm cool.
Who's the guy that you're closest with on the football team?
Probably O-lineman. It's just, like, it's not a specific person. It's just the O-line in general. Like, I'm an O-line guy. Like, I'm always with the O-line. Like, so, but I talk a lot with my quarterback, and, like, both of my quarterbacks are like that because, like, hey.
What have you seen out of Joe since all of a sudden he's kind of been elevated? Because it's easy when you're – easy kind of go through the motions when you know you're not the guy. Now Joe's the guy again.
I mean, Joe has always been a guy in our eyes, definitely in the locker room. It's just things happen and, like, stuff happens. So now he's back in the loop and he gets his opportunity again. I'm pretty sure he's gonna seize the moment. Like that he's definitely a guy, and there's no question in my mind.
You're playing Clemson, and that's such a big opponent. They're the ACC champ. Not knocking if you'd went to the Cotton Bowl to play Tulane, but playing Group of Five is just a little bit different. Do you feel like there's a little more juice in this game because you're going against Clemson?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of juice. That's a natural thing with us as a team. Like, we're gonna attack every game. Like, we're gonna go in thinking, hey, it's gonna be fire fist thrown everywhere. Like, we got to go out there and ball. So it's not really hey, that's the game. We gotta get right. None of that. It's let's go in and execute.
You look around at college football, and kids are opting out of bowl games all the time. I'm not sure how many will opt out in this one on either side, but as a leader of the team, is that kind of when you got to pull everybody in and just say, hey, with this, we want to be locked in on this one. We're going to ride with the guys we got and go.
Definitely, and it depends on each individual situation.
Sure.
Some guys opt out for different reasons, and you never know what they have going on personally. So I couldn't judge a guy by what he does, and but as far as the guys that stay and consider doing their bowl game for their team, like whatever they do, like it's definitely a time that the team will build way more, because depending on the amount of guys that opt out, the remaining guys on the team will have a stronger bond finishing out like that and being able to get that bowl win.
Best moment of all as a Vol is what?
It's definitely a game. You see the elephant. And
yeah.
It was definitely the Alabama game for me, man. That was a great experience. Unbelievable experience, definitely for us and the fan base to be able to go in and just execute, cap off that seal, man.
Best day of your life to this point has been what?
Every day I get to play college football in the SEC. Every day.
Who's the one guy on this team you've learned the most from?
I don't have a problem with listening to anybody. My ears are open. If guys like give me a suggestion, it could be a running back to give me a suggestion. I'm gonna listen. Like, every guy on the team has an opinion, and I believe like it could be heard. It should be heard from any point of view. So I learn from everybody on the team. Like, I'm cool with a lot of the guys, and I know all of the guys, so it isn't really too much.
More fun in team meetings or in the OL room when it's just you and the other big guys?
Probably the OL team meetings is pretty quiet and straightforward.
A little more cut up in the OL room?
Somewhat, as much as Coach Ellerby allowed. We get to literally listen to music. Like, I don't know who else does that. Like, we get to listen to music, like watch plays, all this stuff, and like through all of this, music is playing. Like we have probably the most fun. I would say like not outside the O-line room, but in the O-line room, we probably have like the most fun out of a lot of O-line room.
What offensive lineman do you like to watch and try to learn from? Maybe at the NFL level or other college players? Anybody you particularly like to kind of scope out and kind of evaluate?
I watched the guys that previously been here, like Khalil McKenzie and Trey and guys like that. I just sit up there, try to watch their technique and stuff and see what those guys are doing that I can improve in my game.
I asked this a couple weeks ago. I think it's an interesting question to kind of get your feedback. I got Cooper and Darnell's. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you're doing?
Donate. Going back home. Because that's why I know, like, that's what I know from, like, where I've been all over the world. And I haven't been too many places, but traveling with the team, traveling, like, on my own and stuff with my family. Like, off all the places I've been, I come back home and it's still the worst. Like, so I'm going to go home and try to do something there.
What'd you try to do there?
Probably create a health center or somewhere like
someplace younger versions
like,
of you.
Yeah, like young kids or like young adults can come and like have a resource to like, you know, if they're struggling, they could like have necessities for their everyday life. Or probably get like assistance with food and stuff like that.
Once you get past the bowl game, you kind of get to that off season. What's off season look like for you? Is it besides the workouts? I mean, like, are you going to basketball games? Like, what do you do as a student?
I'm going to the gym. I love UT and all the athletics, but I'm going to the gym. I'm going to workouts. I'm going to get my body in shape I need to participate in the draft next year.
Favorite part of working out's what?
Everything. I love working out.
What's the worst part then?
It's no worst part.
No worst part.
Whatever's going to get my body right, I'm willing to do it. If it hurts, it's good.
I like that. You have any pets?
No. I'm planning.
Besides the stuffed animals?
Yeah, I'm planning on getting a pet actually when I come back from the bowl game.
What are we getting? Do we know?
Hopefully I get I'm looking at a Cane Corso right now from my family members back home. They like breed them. They've been breeding them for years, so I'm looking at getting one of those. Don't get big, but I'm prepared. I got a backyard.
Best Christmas carols, what?
I don't have one.
That's
bad.
You're not a singer?
No, I don't have one. You might get a tune or two from me every once in a while in the house, but publicly, got it. Not gonna do that.
Favorite movie?
The Wood.
I've not seen it. What's it about? Tell me about it.
It's about three friends, I think in California, and like grew up in California from like adolescence to adults, and one of them got married, so they just doing back the flashbacks of how all that stuff happened, and it's crazy stuff. Gotta watch it.
We had Brew on a couple weeks ago, and he said if he could get drafted by anybody, it would be the Rams. The Rams used to be in your city though, before they were technically they were in LA, then St. Louis, then back to LA. But how much do you miss not having an NFL team in St. Louis?
Man, I couldn't say because I never got a chance to like experience a Rams game. Like as a kid in East St. Louis, like it was really that like you couldn't experience that. It took something to get into games. Like some it always took something. Like it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy. So man, I never really got a chance to see the Rams growing up playing in St. Louis all the years I've been there. So. And what's crazy, I've never been to a Cardinals game. Like, out of all the years.
Are you a Cardinals fan? Do you keep up with it?
I've rode past Cardinals Stadium at least 1,000 times. At least 1,000 to 2,000 times. Maybe in a year. I wouldn't even say my life. but never been to a game.
Greatest Cardinal of all time, do you know?
Albert Pujols.
Or Stan Musial? For your era, Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Were you keeping up with it this past year when he was kind of on the retirement run there at the end?
Man, I was so focused on the season, I didn't get a chance to look at my old high school team. Like, they were just out there balling out. So I just got in the loop on those guys. They just won a state championship out there at East St. Louis.
How much pride do you have in that?
Oh man, shout out to East St. Louis, man. They just won a championship. You feel me? State championship, 6A class championship, man. It was a blowout score too. They was out there in Champaign. And man, I'm just happy for them guys, man. It means a lot coming from that school.
Your high school and Darnell's high school state champs this year. Huntington High also brought home a gold ball last week. Most influential person in your life?
My parents. They're definitely the most influential in my life. They've done a lot, as most parents have done for their kids. But man, for me, they've done absolutely the most. Like, especially now in their older age, because my parents had me in their older age, like they're in their 60s now, and I'm just hitting 20. So since my freshman year coming out here, like they came to almost, if not 80 to 90% of the games. Like they try their best to get out here and come see me. Like, it just means a lot. It means a lot to me that they get the opportunity to see me coming from nothing, basically, like they already know, and just being able to do something bigger, like being able to be seen outside of where I'm from.
One last trip to Missouri next year.
Yeah,
it's a home game for them. Then they get that easy drive.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's a easy drive or not, just because it's still 2-hour drive.
It's not gonna be easy. It's probably gonna be like 4 for them because they relocated in Indiana.
Oh, they did. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So how quickly can they get to Knoxville then?
About 5.5 hours. That's less than 7 coming from Illinois.
Yeah.
So
that is easier drive.
Pretty good.
So when you go home, you're not going home to East St. Louis much anymore, are you? You're going to Indiana now?
Not as much. I'm going to Indiana.
How different is that? Because that's not your hometown, but now it kind of is in some way.
Not too different. It's definitely different as far as like what I see every day. So, but it's not too much of a difference as far as like people I see. Like, people don't act too much different, but it's a drastic change in what they have out there.
Motivation for next year, and kind of what would you say your motto is heading into final year?
I don't know. If you can't be perfect, be great. That's what I got for myself, because I ain't taking no other routes.
What would it mean to you to have an all SEC top season in senior year?
It'll mean a lot. It'll mean that I really put forth my best foot and I showed the SEC that I'm one of the better linemen.
Well, he's ready to show the SEC. We'll show at least a few more stuffed animals over the next 365 days. Congratulations, my man, and hopefully you'll get that animal you covet the most.
Yeah, I'm going to get it for sure, and I appreciate you having me too.
That's Javontez Spraggins, this week's Vol Club Confidential.